Everything is bigger in Texas, and it doesn't get much bigger than the Gulf of Mexico. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling here for your ECW review for February 5th, 2008. We are in Christie, Corpus, Texas, and tonight, main event, a Gulf of Mexico match. I'm sure it's big enough for Big Daddy V to fit in there. You could probably squeeze Mark Henry in as well, but thankfully, none of those two need to go in. The only person that needs to go in is either CM Punk or CHAVO GUERRERO, because that's how you win tonight's main event, the Gulf of Mexico Extreme Rules match. The loser is the guy that gets wet.
God damn, who knows what sort of diseases are in the Gulf of Mexico, but you know what? At least it's something different. It's not a one-on-one match.
It's something different.
It's a one-on-one match.
It's something different, but it's featuring the same two participants we've seen for about 10 years straight now, so, you know, not to put a negative spin on it, but it's kind of the same shit.
WWE had a gimmick around this time of throwing guys into, like, rivers. I remember Edge and Cena did it.
Yeah, true.
I guess they did it with Al Snow and Bob Holly a wee bit before, but yeah. Let's talk about it. Good match. I enjoyed it.
Can we not throw half the roster in the fucking river these days?
Throw Colin Delaney in with a fucking weight attached to him.
Anyway, yeah, so let's get into it then. We kick off the show with, I believe, Victoria and Layla taking on... Well, first of all, it was a segment. We opened up with a segment. CM Punk came out and he said tonight he was going to use his rematch clause immediately for a title shot against ECW World Champion CHAVO GUERRERO because... yeah, that's exactly what we want. We want another CM Punk CHAVO GUERRERO match. CHAVO then appeared on the Titantron and he says, nah, you can get your shot, Punk, but not tonight. He then introduced Armando Estrada, who was outside the arena, and Estrada told Punk that tonight he would face CHAVO later in the show in a Gulf of Mexico Extreme Rules match where the winner would be the man to throw his opponent into the Gulf of Mexico beside the venue. Now, here, it's all good having this match, but to me, this kind of would have been better if the title was on the line. Having a title match in this Gulf of Mexico Extreme Rules match, but for whatever reason, they're giving you another Punk CHAVO match before the match at No Way Out. That, to me, is just too much. You know, we've seen these guys wrestle time and time again, week after week after week. Why would you keep doing the same... Alright, technically it's not the same match, but why would you keep having these guys wrestle? See, we're already bored of it, but see by the time we're getting to No Way Out, we're just going to want to fast forward this match. We're going to have any interest in it.
Also, when it's made non-title, you know Punk is winning. You know 100% Punk is winning, man. And that's what I hate about this stuff. Oh, eliminator matches. I'm sick of this.
It just tells me they don't really care about this, because see on Raw... See if you wouldn't get Cena. Now, yeah, look, John Cena and Randy Orton have faced each other a lot of times over the years. But it's always been in a big match. It's always just been because one of them happens to be champion and the other one happens to be the challenger. And sometimes the rivalries last at times, you know, a few months that has progressed over the period of maybe 2-3 pay-per-views. But with CM Punk and CHAVO, it's not just a fact that the rivalries lasted over a few months. Every single week they've been facing each other. You never see that. You just don't see that on the others. It just doesn't happen.
No,
on Raw or SmackDown with the top guys. If this just wouldn't happen with a top. This wouldn't happen with a John Cena. Wouldn't happen with a Batista. Remember when Batista and Undertaker got in that rivalry, and I think they wrestled each other at Mania, Backlash, and then they had the rematch at Judgment Day, like 3 pay-per-views in a row. I guarantee you every single SmackDown you weren't getting Batista versus Taker in the main event.
No, because that's the way it should be. It's this Vince. What is Vince doing here? Is this him trying to like put CHAVO and Punk through their paces? Is it trying to get Punk up against a more veteran sort of opponent rather than like Elijah Burke and John Morrison or something? But then what is it though? Because it's not good television. Everyone can see it.
Triple H, Shawn Michaels have faced each other a lot of times, but here, every match was important. They weren't just facing each other for the sake of it on Monday Night Raw every week. So I don't understand it. I want to like the match, but at this point, I'm just sick of seeing CM Punk versus CHAVO GUERRERO. Promo was alright though. Right, up next we've got Victoria and Layla, with Lena taking on Kelly and Michelle McCool. Victoria and Michelle McCool, at this point, probably considered 2 of the better workers in the company. And while I don't think they are amazing by any means, you can clearly see I mean, they look like Benoit and Angle compared to Layla and Kelly. So there's that. Also, Lena wasn't in this match, so I'm going to assume that she's probably worse than Layla, and Layla's not very good. So I mean, God knows what Lena's like as a wrestler.
Well, yeah, God knows. But you know what? There was actually some pretty decent synchronization on the outside where they linked up all right, the chemistry, when Layla got distracted and turned around like pretty much perfectly into a Michelle McCool clothesline.
Yeah. Then we got, by the way, Victoria and Layla won for anybody that is keeping note at home. We then got an announcement. John Cena would face Mark Henry next week, as would Jeff Hardy face Shawn Michaels. So 2 matches you've got for the next Raw, and Jesus Christ, I wish we could get them nowadays. And then on SmackDown, you'd get Kane versus Shelton Benjamin. A little bit of a downgrade for what we got on Raw.
Massive downgrade.
I mean, we've just seen Kane versus Shelton. What is it with ECW SmackDown? The ECW SmackDown, it's almost like they think here, if we do it, if we do it on ECW, then we do it on SmackDown. It's not the same match. It's almost like they think it's different, being on the blue brand. But anyway,
bet you Kane buries Benjamin on SmackDown.
Yeah, mate, I don't know actually.
Well, when I say bury, I don't mean 10 seconds CHAVO Mania style. I mean like 4.
We then got an interview with Joey Styles. He was conducting it with Stevie Richards, and we've seen footage of Stevie Richards getting his neck fucked by Terry Funk in the guardrail from years and years ago. Richards talked about being paralysed. He talked about his vocal cords, and he's set to come back after 9 surgeries. Next week he returns to the ring. Good to see Stevie Richards back. I like Stevie Richards. At this point, WWE weren't doing him justice. I mean, at least in the early 2000s, I mean, he was great as part of Right to Censor. And then I did enjoy his run with Victoria. But, I mean, after that ended, he pretty much just became this bland guy. And after Stevie Richards' run with Victoria ends, how could you expect him to get over? He just wasn't doing anything. Like, he was literally long-haired Stevie Richards in underpants wrestling. No, but you know...
I'll show you. You'll see.
But then he goes to TNA and he has that great run as Dr. Stevie. It doesn't matter how good you are, man. See if the company doesn't push you, or they don't give you the right character, or they don't give you a direction, you're fucked.
You're snookered. The black's behind the white, and it's all good hyping this injury up, but we know next week. I wouldn't even be surprised if we lost next week.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's taking on Kevin Ford. That's another match I just definitely don't want to see. Anyway, then we got John Morrison defeating Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer last week came out to save Colin Delaney. This week, I guess it was Colin Delaney needing to save Tommy Dreamer, because Tommy Dreamer lost to JM, John Morrison. Is there a tag team title shot in the future for Dreamer and Colin Delaney? I doubt it. Back-to-back defeats against the tag champs. Kofi Kingston then pinned James Curtis in 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Lasted longer than the women's match. Kofi Kingston, for me, is beginning to sink quickly. I know he's only just debuted, but still, the beach vignettes were pretty good. Welcome to Jamaica, man. You know, they were decent, but since he's got to the ring, he's got a unique offense, but it's not really doing it for me. And I think we've seen a few botches in there as well.
SOS. Good old JRAI, damn it. But I think Kofi peaks in about 2009 when he has the feud with Orton. And that's like, what, 16 years ago we're talking here? You're right. I actually thought the Jamaica vignettes were very good, but see when you're wrestling James Curtis, what are you supposed to do with that?
Yeah, they need it to continue the vignettes. You can't just show up and just be a wrestler now and not cut promos and just do 3-minute matches and expect people to love you. It's not going to work that way. Taz can freak out and put him over and say all his moves are cool and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, who cares? We then get an ad for the Legacy of Stone Cold Steve Austin DVD. I would just rather have Stone Cold Steve Austin, but we get a preview of a DVD from Austin. I'm sure Gemini 666 will be buying that one.
Straight to DVD, folks. But up next...
I mean, it was a DVD, so...
Yeah, we also got a WrestleMania 24 hype package to the tune of... Hey-oh.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
This is how I hey-oh.
What do you make of the name Red Hot Chili Peppers?
It's alright, isn't it? Stick them on my face.
I like chili peppers, and I don't mind if they're red hot, but weird name for a band. Anyway, CM Punk up next taking on Chavo Guerrero in a Gulf of Mexico match, Extreme Rules match. And I thought the match was decent. My only problem is, do you not think it does look a bit well, I mean, people are going to say, yeah, well, obviously wrestling's predetermined and fake and all that shit. But it does look weird when they just happen to battle from the ring to the back to the golf.
I mean, I guess the difference is, though, they need that to win.
Yeah, but couldn't you argue that maybe they should have started outside or something? It just didn't feel organic.
I get that, but I mean, we have loads of matches, like ambulance matches,
Hold on.
matches.
But those things are just up at the ring, and normally that results in somebody dragging the other person up there. This match, they tried to portray it as if these guys just naturally started battling their way backstage, you know what I mean? No one really made the direction to go there.
I get the logic, right? But at the end of the day, they need to get back there somehow. They can't. I mean, Chavo can't just be like, you know what? I'm going to run backstage. Punk, follow me.
Anyway, yeah, so it looks like Chavo's going to get Punk in, going for the suplex. Punk blocks it, hits a GTS. Chavo flies into the river, or the Gulf. Can he swim? Who knows? Doesn't matter though. CM Punk wins as Chavo drowns as ECW goes off the air. So, yeah, there you go. ECW's been drowning lately in mediocrity tonight. It was Chavo that was chucked in the Gulf of Mexico. Overall, I mean, I thought the opening segment was alright with our Strada doing the announcement. The main event was alright. But for me, everything else in between that just wasn't great. And yeah, for me, not a great easy. I'll give it a 4 out of 10.
I think it's probably one of the better ones we've seen this year. And that sums up how low the bar is, so I'll give it a 4 as well.
A Bret Hart standard 4 out of 10. He never done anything impressive. Anyway, guys, that's it. ECW, not the best there was, not the best there is, and not the best there ever will be. But who knows? Is there one last good ECW show in us? Can ECW pull a 10 out the bag before it closes its doors in 2010? Who knows? We'll find out next time. Probably not, but yeah, we'll wait and see. Till then, though. Peace.